So we need a bit of production management principle, especially in the design and operation of a separation unit. Now, we have in production management, we have planning, we have what we call implementation, and we have control. Please, I don't want to, it's just been nice today. I'm not in the right mood, please. So it is divine, production is defined as planning, implementation, and control of industrial production process to ensure smooth and efficient operation. Production techniques are used in both manufacturing and service industry. Now, we have what we call production. I think all of us will understand that. So the word production embodied planning, implementation, and control. Though this is majorly for production engineers, but also the understanding of this is useful, especially in the design and operation of separation unit. So now we can apply this planning, implementation, and control in either manufacturing or service industry. And what are examples of service industry? Can someone tell me? Example of service industry.
Probably water board or something.
Water board. Water board is a bit of manufacturing and service. Service is their industry that are only concerned about, we can call university service industry because we teach you, especially, we're not producing anything. We are only producing you, right? And that's service industry. Bank, their service industry, right? Then even in chemical engineering, we have a bit of service industry in terms of chemical engineering also. So we can use production planning, production implementation, and production control in both manufacturing and service industry. This is very, very important. For some of you working as what's the name? Working as casual worker in those industry, those that pay you one per hour and the rest like that. Some of the things you do there, they are not actually production. They are more of planning, implementation, and control. Because casual worker, they always put them under production. But what you do most of the time is planning, implementation, and control. You get a which batch is this? Batch 1, batch B, and the rest like that. Okay, you control this, put all the batches and what's the name? Package it here and the rest like that. All those operations, they are more or less a service industry. What you do most of the time is it's not manufacturing per se, but it's more production that has to do with planning, implementation, and control. So simply, production management is a process of planning, organizing, directing, and controlling the activity of the production function. So the first thing that comes to mind is, what's the difference between production management and operation management? Production management and operation management. Some of these things you will do it in management, but we want to dig deep as it relates to separation process. Now, what is different between production management and operation management? It's very simple. Production management is only concerned with what? Manufacturing, right? While operation management has to do with service industry, like human resources and the rest like that. Then in production management, the output is always tangible. Tangible is something that you can what? You can hold, right? But in operation management, output is what? Intangible, something that you cannot actually hold. Like if you go for a seminar, they are intangible products, right? So we can also, all the activities that you do in that kind of seminar, we can call it operation management, right? But anything that has to do with production or maybe of perfume, production of supplement and the rest of that, you need production management. So that's just the difference. Then in production management, Production management use less labor and more equipment, while operation management they use more labor and less what equipment. The reason why I said some of the things, most of the things you do as casual worker in those industry, they are more of operation, not production. Because you package, after packaging, what's the name? Your supervisor will tell you, okay, what is the batch number? What is this? Oh, from what we did last week, like yesterday, we were able to finish batch A. Today we want to do batch B. They move you from that production unit to another unit, right? I think some of you working, you understand what I'm saying. I've done that before, so I understand better. So you understand. Almost most of the people here, they work in there. So most of the things you do are operation management. Why are you the one that employed them? How do you know?
He is working in every warehouse, so it is type
Kind
of
of.
operation.
It's operation, yeah. It's not actually production.
Yeah,
I've done that before because most times we do have issue distinguishing between production management and operation management. This is very, very important.
yeah.
Because most of the time, we are chemical engineer, fine. But most of the times, where we, at the end of the day, where you find yourself, are actually not production. So some of the things you will do are more of operation. So that is the reason why you need all this. So, and the last one is that there is no customer participation in production management. You are the only one doing that. But in operation management, there is frequent customer participation. I mean, customer has a kind of more of impact upon your decision. Let me give you an example. If there is any problem in a particular organization, maybe you pull out a batch, and maybe that batch has issue. What happened? You discover that the supervisor that worked under that batch is in trouble. Let me give you an example. Let's assume in the production of supplements, for example, inside one batch, they found meal inside supplements. You know that's a big problem, right? So the problem has to do with operations. So when I'm talking about customer participation, we are talking about customer satisfaction as a bit of what? Input in operation management. Then concept of production. Production is defined as a step-by-step conversion of one form of material into another form through chemical and mechanical process to create or enhance the utility of the product to the what? To the user. Thus, production is a value addition process. At each stage of production or processing, there will be value addition. Production system. So any system that bring together resources to produce a value-added product is a what? Is a production system. You remember last in biochemical engineering, we mentioned the conversion, some of the problems we are always confronted with, especially in scaling up the biochemical process, right? So that production process, we call it what? Production system. So any system that has to do with conversion is the what? Is a production system. Now, this is a schematic production system. I think this one came out last year. So we have inputs, we have outputs. The inputs could be men, could be material, could be machine, could be information, could be capital. That's money, right? Then the output is products or services, right? Then in between the inputs and the output, we have the transformation system, which this has to do with product design, process planning, production control, and maintenance. This one falls under what? Under the transformation process. And for this one now, we always have inventory, quality, and cost. What is inventory? Can someone tell me? What is inventory? If you what happened? You're laughing. It's good to be happy.
Inventory where we store like spare parts
or raw materials.
Spare parts or raw material.
Raw material. That's the inventory.
Okay, yeah.
For the machinery, we put the spare parts, and for the production, we put the raw material for the like how much we have to. We can just take our database system like.
Do you call where you normally keep your raw materials and that of spare parts? Are they both in the inventory? Do you still call them inventory?
No.
I don't think so, right? So, and then we have quality and cost. This one is just the diagram of a production system. So if you're a production engineer, these are some of the things you need to understand. But most of the time, as chemical engineer, we do step in as a production engineer. I think you should know that. Most times, as chemical engineer, we do step in as production engineer most times. That is the reason why this knowledge is very important. Because as chemical engineer, all we know is conversion, process design, and the rest like that. But the reason why most chemical engineers, they are not good in production is because they don't have the understanding of this. My second degree is my first degree is in chemical engineering. My second degree is in industrial and production engineering. And then my PhD is in chemical engineering. So that's the reason why I know all this. Because it's chemical, but my area of concentration is biochemical. But I did a bit of biochemical, biotechnology, and the rest like that. So this is just a production system. Then characteristic of a production system. Now, production system is an organized activity, so every production system has an objective. So the system transforms the various input to useful output, and it doesn't operate as in isolation. So, and there is always a feedback system. When you look at this, there's always a feedback system. So, what connects input and output is the inventory. And that is the reason why you can still call how you store your raw material, you can still call it an inventory. But it's not even raw material. We can say where you store, let's say, not even raw materials now. Maybe where you unused material. Maybe after production you discover that, oh, we just finished the production and we don't need this again, right? You put it in inventory. Is that clear? So there is difference between storage units, right, and inventory. Inventory is more or less, okay, it's possible we need this later. You understand? You just put it inside. So it's just like an interface that connects what? Input and what? An output system. The reason why is that you need to understand there is this system in production because that will connect both those producing and those what? Getting the output out. And at the middle, you see have what? Product design, process planning, production control. And that is the reason why if you are not careful, most chemical engineers, they are not good production manager. They are not always good production manager. Reason is that all we know is process design. What is in between here, right? All we know is process planning, right? All we know is production control, right? And most time, all we know is maintenance, right? But how to connect output and input together, that is where progress starts. And that is the work of a production engineer or industrial engineer. So, and that is the most times we have people, their area of research is production management. That is where they have all this there. I think is a very good area of concentration. Most people, they are in that area. All they do is production planning. And that's all. That's about that. Then, characteristic of production system. Okay, I've mentioned that. Then, please listen. We have classification of production system. Production system is classified based on job shop. We can call it job shop, batch production, mass production, and continuous production. This is very important. Now, let's start with the first one. So this is just a hierarchy in classification of production system. We have the job shop. Job shop is at the lower ladder, and the batch production is the next one. The mass production then we have continuous production. You need the understanding of this, especially when you want to work in a different industry. Like you're applying now, most of the time, most industry, if you apply most time in continuous production based industry, people like us are just coming up, they won't employ you. Most times, most industry that has to do with mass production, they may not employ you as starter, except if they are the one that trained you. Reason is that they want someone who is already, you understand? And most times, most batch production, they always employ people like us. You understand? Okay, you have to understand you're a master holder, at least you are trainable. Though most continuous production units, most time, they do employ graduate whatever. That's the most of them they have graduate, what's the name? Trainee and the rest like that. Like, what's the name of these people? What's the name of this industry? What's the name of this industry? I forgot it. So that industry, I think, is big here. I think they deal mostly with continuous production. Most times they employ people that are already experienced. They are experienced people. So that's very important. So now, what is job shop? Now, job shop production, they are characterized by manufacturing of one or few quantity of products, designed and produced as per specification of customer within prefixed time and cost. Now, the distinguishing features of this is low volume, high varieties of products. A job shop company of general purpose machine arranged into different departments. Each job demands unique technological requirement, demand processing of machine in a certain sequence. Can someone give me an example of a company that, or maybe a production unit we can call job shop? They don't produce much. They can just produce three or four products in a year.
3 or 4 in a year.
Units in a year, yeah. Based on specification or specification or special requirement from people.
Rolls Royce.
Car companies.
Aeroplanes.
Is that?
He said like car companies.
High?
Car.
Like car companies.
Like those producing, is it Lamborghini or what?
Yeah, Rolls Royce.
So those companies,
Aeroplanes.
I think
Boeing.
one single Lamborghini takes around, I think they said it's take around 1 year or so. I can't remember.
Not Lamborghini, I think it's Rolls Royce.
I imagine. And ordinary Toyota within a day, they produce ton of Toyota. So those companies that are categorized under their specialized company. And even most jewelry products are, what is the name? Based company, like those that produce, this celebrity jewelry. They have this, like they customize it. They can produce 1 or 2 in a year. Diamond ring, one of it can cost maybe 10,000 or 10 million pounds. They don't produce much. You are the one that will tell them, okay, this is the kind of products I want. I want you to customize a car for me. I want you to customize aeroplane for me. I want you to customize this for me. These are job shop. And people who work here, they are specialists. They are specialists. They are not just ordinary people. For some of us, you can't apply here. They will only employ you as maybe as packer. So because people that work here, they are specialists. So you need this understanding, not only for this level, but even when in your job hunting, you understand? Because most times you discover that, I have 500 applications. They didn't come in for interview. No, you'll be able to focus on, okay, this is my strength. So because there are certain companies, they don't just even, when you send to them, say it is AI that will sift all your applications.
We will create our own job shop production.
You say what?
I said we'll create our own job shop production.
And before you get to this level, most people that have this kind of company, do you know what they do? They are people that break away from a particular company. Like Microsoft. Someone will say, I'm not working with Bill Gates again. They have their special company, small one. And that company, what they do is they don't do much. They don't produce just ordinary computer. They produce iPad computer and the rest like that. They are job shop. So that's the reason why I said people who work in this kind of company, they are specialists. Those who have a year of experience. In fact, many of them, maybe they have already retired. You understand? In a particular company. and they just come by and say, okay, can you be our consultant? So that is one company. So what I'm teaching you today is more like, it's not more like chemical engineering, it's more of the management part of what chemical engineering. Though it shouldn't be part of this course, but I know it will help you because it's not about passing the exam, but how useful you will be when you get out there. And that's the most important thing. So that is job shop. Now, what are the characteristics of job shop? High varieties of products and low volume. And the second one is a use of general purpose machine and facility. Highly skilled operators who can take up each job challenge because of uniqueness. Because someone can just see that, those people that have money, they like creating problems. And when you have money, you can do anything, right? Someone will just say, oh, I want a car that can fly. And at the same time,
then she needs broomstick.
Is that what?
Then she needs broomstick.
I didn't hear you. Broomstick. So that those kind of people, they like creating problem because they have money. They don't know what they are out of ideas or what to use their money for.
Yeah.
So most times they come to all these people, job shop, can you do this for me? And it's more or less like some of the things they ask for, some of them maybe it's not in existence at all. So you need someone that is specialized in that area to be able to solve that kind of problem. Imagine. And submarine, how many do we have in the world? So their specialized is under job shop also. There are a list of them. Imagine you applying to a submarine. You understand what I'm trying to do now? So that's that about that. So let's look at another one. Large inventory of materials and tools. Why wouldn't they have large inventory? Because this one will not work. They throw it away. This one will not, instead of throwing it away, they just have a place. So that if anybody comes, maybe at the end of the day, that need that part, they can only say, oh, we had this before. So we can actually use it. That's the reason why they have large inventory of materials, tools, and parts. Then, this one involved detailed planning. It involved this detailed planning because each product has its own what? Specialty. So it involved a detailed planning. So for some of you that are still learning, there's no time to learn here. It's a time to put into practice what you've garnered for a very long period of time. So, and that is the reason why. And these people, they pay them heavily. Imagine somebody will say, oh, my salary for a year is £1 million. And you say, okay, what are you doing? £1 million, are you a politician? But it's because they are involved in specialized what? Specialized function. And what are the advantages of job shop? Because of general purpose machine and facility, variety of products can be produced. Variety of products doesn't imply that it's big in volume. Because, okay, we have a jacket that you can actually, if you're in cold season, you press a button. If you're in hot season, you press another button. And so we even say, okay, I want something that when I'm staying here, so I can easily, once I finish lecture, and those are the problems. And another example is all these nuclear reactors. Those nuclear reactors, because they are specialized for place too. Because even if they want to produce maybe one single bomb or whatever it is, it involves what? Specialized people to do that. So full potential of operator can be utilized. So for someone that has worked in different company before, right? If that person work here, it means everything he has garnered, he can actually make use of it here. And that is what Elon Musk is doing now. You will discover that some of the things he's producing, they are not just ordinary things, right?
Yeah.
It's because he wants to control the market, though now he's already moving towards continuous production now. Especially, initially we have Tesla and the rest like that. Tesla came as special, whatever before. Before you know it, we have Cybertruck now, right? And before you know it, that Cybertruck will move to mass production again. You understand what I mean now? So what I'm saying in essence is that for here, the full potential of the operators can be utilized. And lastly, opportunity exists for creative method and innovative ideas. So if you want to work here, if they interview you, what they will tell you is that what can you bring here? What are new things that has never existed before that you can bring here? And that is the reason why creative methods and innovative ideas. Reason is that in most industry, it's just garbage in, garbage out. They have their own method. You can't come and say, oh, I want to change the method. No. But here, you can actually come and say, okay, I have another idea, and the idea can produce new method, and that company can say, oh, we have new technology now, that within 5 minutes, you can travel from London to China. You understand? So that is a new idea. So that's the reason why creative method and innovative ideas, they are useful. So,
Where we can study that?
study what?
Where we can study that if I want to go to London to China in 5 minutes.
I know, maybe you have to work in different, by then, all your hair will be grey because you have enough experience.
Fly with
I said you grow white instead.
What should we?
So let's continue. So what are the limitations of job shop? Higher costs due to frequent setup changes. Higher costs. Because the cost of production is always high. So it involves higher costs. That is the reason why what they produce here, they are very expensive. They are not for company like us, right? So then higher level of inventory at all levels and hence have higher inventory costs. Then production planning is complicated. Then larger space requirements. Because this one is not working, you throw it away. Because they work to perfection, right? Someone is paying for it, then there has to be value for that money. Is that clear now? The batch production. I think some of us we are used to this, right? Huh? We're used to batch production. Even McDonald's is batch production, right? So batch production is defined as a form of manufacturing in which the job passes through the functional department in lots of batches. Please wait. What I'm teaching you today, we are not using chemical engineering terms. We are using time because now we are using time as it relates to what? Production management. Reason is that you need to understand this concept because by the time you go out there, all your complicated chemical engineering jargons, we can't mention that here. So these are the things they want to hear. At least we know of batch production, like in chemical engineering. But see this one now, it's more or less like a batch production as it relates to at least ordinary layman. Do you understand? Because for you to be able to have impact in that particular industry, it means you have to come to the level of everyone. You see some of those industry here that we have around here. The reason why production manager or maybe a chemical engineer have problem with that, do you know the reason why? They think you are proud. Because when you come, oh, what happened to this laminar flow? Blah, they don't want to hear that, right? This guy is too proud. And the reason why is that we call something management. You are managing the production. And when you manage the production, part of it is that you should understand all the basic terms that is used in a normal industrial setup. And one of it is batch production. The way we define batch production as a chemical engineer is different from how other engineers define it. Do you understand what I'm saying now? So this is just a general understanding as it relates to all engineering in core, right? So, as a form of manufacturing in which the job passes through the functional department in lots or batches, and each lot may have different routing. So it is characterized by the manufacture of limited number of products produced at regular interval and stock awaiting sales. That is the reason why for some of us that are working in shift, today they will tell you there is job. Tomorrow they will say no, there's no job tomorrow because it's batch production. Another example is there's some, now we're in festive period. There are many jobs now, right? Don't worry, I'm in the system. I understand everything. I've done that before. So there are jobs now, huh? They will even be running after you now for shifts. But in January, in February, March, they will tell you no, they will retrain staff that time. So the reason why is that They only produce at interval and stock it awaiting what? Awaiting sale. And that's batch production. Then what is the characteristics? Shorter production time. Plants and machinery are flexible. Manufacturing lead time and cost are lower as compared to what? Job shop production. All these are things you should know. And you know the reason why I'm teaching you this is because in industrial setup, when those in industry they are talking, you'll be relevant. Because when they are making contribution, you can make contribution to without using your what? Your chemical engineering jargons. Not jargons anyway, but that's what they will call it. So we have different advantages. The first one is better utilization of plants and machinery and promote functional specialization. Then cost per unit is lower as compared to job shop, and also lower investment, right? Because now, for you now, if you want to have a startup, most times you start as a batch product, in batch production, maybe as a startup. Malini, what is happening? You started again today. See, I will separate both of you. Mugunda, mind yourself. So, job satisfaction exists for operators, because they pay you in hour, 20 pounds per hour. Job satisfaction. Good. So, flexibility to accommodate and process number of products. Do you know the reason for this? If you have ever worked in supplements area before, those that produce supplement, the same machine they will use for collagen supplement, the same machine they will use for paracetamol supplement, the same machine they will use for magnesium supplement, is because it's still what? Batch production. Because the understanding of this is very important. Because you understand where you are working and the mode of operation that you have is very important. So, limitation. Material handling is complex because of irregular and longer flow. And production planning is complex. Imagine you have a production in which is multifaceted. You having three, okay, for example, those that work in beverages now. Some we have, it's the same machine they use for beverages, for, let's say, orange juice. That's the same they will use for beetroot juice. The same they will use for, which other one? Pineapple juice, right? And as a result of this, the material handling is complex. Because most times, when I was a production manager then, I discovered that most times the first thing they will tell us, I always tell them is that make sure you clean this very well so that it will not interfere with the next production, which is different from the one we had before, right? And it's because of this problem. Those are the limitations. So higher setup costs due to frequent changes in setup. So that is batch production. The mass production. Manufacture of discrete parts or assemblies using a continuous process are called mass production. This production is justified by very large volume of production. Now, an example of this is those companies that produce parts, let's say car parts, phone accessories, right? Which other one? And this is where China falls. And this is just a secret of any industrial revolution, mass production. And this is just the, what's the name? The secret of having cheaper products. The fact that we having China products or Chinese product is cheap, most time doesn't mean that it's fake, right? See this. I bought this in Temu. Yes, Kaiba in Temu. I bought this from Temu, £4. The reason why the one I've been buying since, expensive one, £20, £30, £50. Most time within 3 days or 1 week is gone. I said no, I won't run into debt because of this. So now I bought 3 from Temu, and this one I've been using for a very long time. The remaining one is still at home, not using. So and that's just it. So in China, China don't produce Job Shop. No. Those that produce Job Shop, they are in Germany, right? US. And that is the reason most times. So, I don't want to talk much on this. Do you have any Chinese people here? Are you the ancestor of Chinese? Because I don't know, you don't look like a Chinese. So what I'm just saying in essence is that mass production on its own is this is just the secret of the new revolution now. Because those that produce in mass, most of the time, they hold the power. If Chinese today tell everyone that we are not producing anything again, the world is in trouble. Because Job Shop alone cannot accommodate or cannot produce what we need. Batch production cannot do that. But mass production can do that. So our brother from Chinese, thank you. So they fall under what? Mass production. So the machine are arranged in a line or product layout. So that is easy. If you see machine from China, it's always like this. Conveyor is always full of conveyor, right? So in a line or product layout, so product and process standardization exists, and all output follow the same path. Please underline this standardization. So it means it is what you want that you get. So someone will tell you that, oh, I know that you produce this. I want this standard. And if that's the standard they will produce for you. Okay. I want earpiece of 50 pence standard. Chinese will produce it for you, right? I want an earpiece of, and you see some of their cars now. They're nice cars, right? Though they're expensive, but they're nice cars.
BYD, you know.
They're nice cars.
But they're making XR iPhone 17. I was 17 Pro Max with XR.
Okay, that's another thing. You understand? So most of the time they turn the work of a job shop.
Yeah.
Because now you have a product, you understand, that costs like maybe £100,000. And you come here and say, okay, this product, what is the issue? We change it and they produce another one. Now we have different iPhone now. So you have iPhone 17 now. It's useless. Because we have which was XR. With £150, we get iPhone 17 now. You don't know. See the way Priyanka is looking at me. Yes, now. You can. And it's because of mass production. So mass production, and most of the time, the fact that there is mass production, even if there are losses, you won't know. Because most time you are worried. Why is it that, okay, they have... Okay, let me give you an example. Most time, if I buy all these small things, £3, £4, £5, don't do this. So most time I'll press return. If I press return, they will tell you, don't return, they will give it to you. I say, what happened to you now? You tell me. That's another secret. So if you have maybe £2 or £3, what's the name? Items, and maybe you don't like it at the end of the day, they will ask you to keep it. Right? Because they already made their profits because of mass production. But that's cheating anyway. I don't do that. So they follow the same path. That's mass production. So I'm saying this because beyond chemical engineering, you should understand what is happening out there. You understand? Because the world is going beyond the level we understand now, all this DYDS that we know. So it's going towards operation management now. So you need to understand both the planning, process design, and the rest like that. And also you need to understand the operation management, because you can step in, maybe as a chemical engineer, as a production engineer, or a formulator, and so on and so forth. So what are the characteristics? Standardization of product and process sequence, large volume of product, shorter cycle of time of production. See, this is the reason why we have mass production of all this. All this, I bought this one from them, £1. This pass. No, not my phone. No, my phone is standard. It's true now. If you want to buy this one, I bought £1.8. But I'm talking of this case now. I think around £2. And there are more of that in the market because of shorter time of production. They can pull, what's the name? They can have a sale of what? Thousands of products, millions of products because of this. Then perfectly balanced production line. Production planning and control is very easy. And this is where automation comes in. Then material handling can be completely automatic. You see now? So that is the secret of a Chinese brother. So if tomorrow you become president of your country, it's one way to have industrial revolution. Just go to China, tell them how do they do it, right? And your country will be great, right? And at the end of the day, you have job for every. And do you know the reason why in most countries now they have issue with job issue? I mean, all this employment issue, unemployment issue is because of this. You hardly find this in China. Everybody has what they are doing, right? And it's because of this mass production. So this mass production is just a secret of what? To unemployment rate in the world now. So I know some of you, I'm just looking at you now. You'll be great Mugunda. You'll be great. You'll be senators. You'll be, what's the name? You'll be the one making laws for your company, for your country. It's understanding you. Taiba, what is the issue now? Why are you laughing? So, and you never know what you become later at the end of the day. That's just it. So, I'm your lecturer today. I pray you are greater than me, right? But don't forget me. So, advantage, higher rate of production, right? Higher capacity utilization, less skill. So, cheaper labor. You see this one now? Yeah. Then low process inventory because they use everything. Manufacturing costs. And they are the people, they know how to do recycling very well. They use everything up. So manufacturing cost per unit is low. The secret of all these cheap products. All this, you can get these pieces, 1,000. They will tell you it's 1,000 of this, you can get it maybe £100. 1,000 of this if you buy it in bulk, right? From China. That's one business. So you can get this. Okay, let me give. I'm just telling you business idea now. This one now. This one is for Dunlop, right? Yeah. If you like, you can do that in UK here. You can have enough of this, maybe thousands of this, and you have your own brand. You just put your own brand on it, and you can talk to all those retailers. People will sell it for you. That's one thing. All these are casing. You want to buy it in...
Yeah, the phone case is also...
All this phone casing. Because most of it, I think someone was telling us something. Why is it that all those small shop here, Pakistan shop, Indian shop, how do they make profits? Because it's more or less like they're getting it free.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So, and that is just the start. That's one secret. So everything is not about care job. You can do business also, right? It's because I don't have time.
This is business.
In China, what happened in
Focus is on the business.
Okay. So continuous production. So now, I think this is a bit confusing. The difference between continuous and what? Mass production. Let's see if there is any difference. So you will tell me the difference. Pratham, you tell me the difference now. So production facilities are arranged as per the sequence of production operation from the first operation to the finished product. The items are made to flow through sequence of operation through material handling devices such as conveyor, transfer devices. Characteristics: dedicated plant and equipment with zero flexibility. Material handling is fully automated. So process follow a predetermined sequence of operation. Component material can be readily identified with final product. As planning and scheduling is a routine action. Pratham, what is different between continuous production and mass production? If you don't know it, Harris will tell me.
Continuous production and mass production.
He knows.
Yes, now.
You should know, okay.
Or do we need to pour water on your head for you, remember? Because you've been talking since. Difference, at least based on what we have here.
Continuous production means the production will not gonna end, like if there is one product.
Speak louder, so don't confuse me. Speak louder. Because by the time you want to confuse your teacher, you start using accents.
Continuous and the mass production in it.
Yeah, what's the difference? Based on what we have here.
In it.
In it. Isn't it?
So you are also a gangster in this class.
The second one. After Pratham, Agnes.
Okay.
Sure.
Our boss.
Now, help him out.
Help him out.
Yes, sir. What's the difference?
In mass production and continuous production. In mass production, we create products in very bulk quantities.
Okay.
But in continuous production, it doesn't. It is not important that it is producing in bulk quantities. The main quality of the continuous production that it is being producing like in the continuous way.
It's more or less like a process than the
Yeah.
outputs.
Yeah.
See it now. See your life. He's just talking to you and he's listening.
No, I was sleeping.
You are sleeping?
Yeah.
Why is it that you always sleep in my class? Maybe I will start using the camera now. Let's continue. Now, we have advantages. We can easily standardize our products. Higher rates of production, we reduce cycle time, higher capacity utilization, and so on and so forth. So, that is that about continuous production. This is 25 slides out of 76.
So far, it's just one course, one topic that you told us that nothing is coming out. And that's the design of bioreactor.
Design of bioreactor.
Said this
That's
one.
the matter. No, aside that one. This one is not coming out for.
I'll read everything, please. I won't talk again. Read everything.
It's fine.
No, you know something? My style, and I always tell you, is that it's not about exam. Right? The only time we ask for your transcript is only if you want to apply for any admission. So if you want to apply for a job, do they ask for your transcript? No. It's what you know upstairs.
For grade.
You say what?
You asked for grade now.
And your grade will only open door for you. It will not give you seats. That's the issue. Your grade will only open door for. That's why it's good to have a good grade, because they will shortlist you. But when they shortlist you in court and you don't have anything there, so that is the reason why don't focus more on passing the exam alone. And now you've passed that stage. This is master's class. See the way I'm teaching you now. I'm not half big, and I can say it anywhere. I'm not half big. And I don't want you to be half big too. Some of all these things, small things. By the time you are talking, and people say, oh, where is this one coming from? They never know it's from the class. You will not even remember all this material balance. No. It's just the principle behind it. That's all. Exactly. That's what you need. So that is the reason why everything is not about, I want to pass the exam, Please. It's not about the exam, right? Make sure at least you can pick one or two things. All the lecturer that has been teaching you, they have one thing or the other they know. You understand? Make sure you tap from them before you leave. That's the reason why you are here. Not just to pass the exam and to, no. It's beyond that, right? Just make sure you understand. If there's anything you don't understand, just let me know. If there's anything outside this class, you want to know about all this, how it can be applied, I will tell you. I've applied this before. I work in industry for almost 5 years. So I've applied this before. It's just simple things. Or it's either you know it or you don't know it. That's just it. So let's continue. So limitation. Process number of product doesn't exist. Very high investment and product differentiation. Objective of production management. The reason why we need now, please listen, don't cram anything. Why do we need to manage our production? What are the objectives of production management? One, to produce goods and services of right quality and quantity at the right time and at the right manufacturing cost. We have production planning. You will discover that most of the time, those places where you work, a production manager will just come out with one useless sheet of paper and tell you that Ali, you will work in Zone A. Harris, you work in Zone B. Take one pallet and do this and this. I know everything. Take one pallet and do this and this. It's because of the planning. You understand? So the reason why is that we want to have the right quantity. They will tell you, okay, we need for this batch, we need 500 pieces. And that is the reason most of the time your production manager become furious when you don't meet up with the targets, right? And most times, if you have a certain group that don't always meet up with the target, you discover that they're the one they fire. Within 2 or 3 weeks, you will say, oh, where is Mukunda? Don't worry, I just love you, like your name. Where's Mukunda? Mukunda, fired Mukunda. But Mukunda is in job shop now. Huh? So because they couldn't meet up with what?
Criteria.
With the recorded target. So right quality, and another thing is because of right quality. Because if there is no production planning or if there's no production management, then you have problem with what? Quality management. That is the reason why most of the time the supervisor, not production manager now, the production manager will just come, do this, and give this night shift. He will go there and sleep.
Yes.
But supervisor will come and bring this batch. Oh, this batch number is not well. Just clean it again, right? You clean everything.
Happened with me.
And put it back again. I know. I mean, I was in the system before. I will tell you, clean it. Huh? And most times, the eyes of those people is always red. Oh, that man is very wicked. No, it's not wicked. It's because we want what? Right quality. A little mistake can affect the integrity of that company. So that is the reason why production management is always very important, because it's established based on customer needs, right? So very, very important. And right quantity and the right time. The right manufacturing cost. So role of production management now. So the question that will come to mind for you now is that this is advanced separation process. Why are we doing this? Okay, straight cut. So why are we doing it? So now the reason why we are having this is, don't forget last time I told you that in most industries, the cost of production always take, separation process always take 40 to 70% of the cost of production. And that is the reason why the management of separation unit is very, very important in separation process. So we need to manage our production, we want to apply production management principle in the design and also in the operation of separation units. Now, production management principle play a critical role in effective design and operation of production units. These units require precise coordination of resources, stringent quality control, and well thought out process design to achieve efficient, safe, and high quality separation process. Now, one of the principles of production management is what we call planning and production control. Production planning and control. Production planning and control. Very, very important. Now, what is the difference between planning and control? Planning is foundational in production management, where it involves determining what to produce, how much, and resources. Listen, some of these things you think that maybe there are things that we can always think about it easily, right? What to produce. But if you don't have a flow of this production management, you can skip one and you will not know. And at the end of the day, the whole process will be what? We have issue. And that is the reason why production management is sequential in nature, that you need to follow each. Despite the fact that it's something you can remember easily, right? But the first thing remains that you need to have that planning. An example of this is this. Most times in your company, you discover that there are many books, right? And some of those books, they are repetition. I don't know if that has ever happened to you, but what is the meaning of this? Production book will be as big as this, right? And you discover, which one will I read? And if you are new there, you have problem. Hey, will I be able to cope? Right? You have it. How will I be? Because I'm just, you may not understand if you've not worked in industry before. But for some of us, I think you can relate with what I'm telling you now. And the reason why there is repetition is because they don't want you to make mistake. So what is being repeated, you won't make mistake, right? You discover that what you have in this page 1 is what you have in page 100 also. And at the end of the day, you discover that everything is monotonous. It's because we need to tell you, Pratham, maybe those times you are talking, you forgot. When you go back again, you'll be able to check again. Because little mistake can cost the whole company fortune. So now, planning will tell you what to produce, how much, and the resources required. So in separation units, this planning ensures the availability of raw materials, right? Energy and equipment to meet production targets without unnecessary delay. An example is, last week I think we dealt with downstream processing, right? In biochemical engineering, right? And downstream processing is more related to what? Separation process, right? And it's more of separation process. Now, you have your bioreactor, for example, and you have your product out, right? And let's say you are dealing with a big bioreactor, maybe in vaccine production and the rest like that. Like vaccine production, you are dealing with a maybe mass production or batch production. If you don't use production planning, you will have issue. All those vaccines, they roll out every time. And you discover that there is consistency in that production. It's because there is an element of what? Production management principle inside. Because without it, there won't be consistency in our product. And now, the production control oversees the execution of this plan by implementing control on the production process. And this includes ensuring the separation occur under right condition, temperature, pressure, and that process run without interruption, and so on and so forth. So that is what? Production planning and control. That is one principle. The second principle is process design. For process design, I know some of us will understand it. Process design. We can have microscopic decision making and what is the impact. Now, process design in separation unit is about selecting the best method and equipment to achieve desired separation. Now, I gave you process design elements, right? For your projects. You need this too. You need production management too under this. Because in process design, you need to select the best method. Now, the method we are selecting, for example, for centrifugal separation, sedimentation, that's the method, right? Then the equipment, what are the equipment we need surrounding it to achieve the desired separation? So this includes choosing technology that fits the material properties, like distillation for liquid with different boiling point, and so on and so forth. And considering factors like energy efficiency and environmental impact. The reason why I said in your project, you need to add environmental impact to it. Very important. So we have impact on efficiency. Efficient process design in separation unit directly influences throughput and reduces what? Operational costs. For example, energy efficient distillation process and so on and so forth. So what I just say in essence is that for production management principle, we have production planning and control, and we have process design. Then please listen and listen on. We have plant layouts. How many of you did design projects in maybe undergraduate level? You did design projects? Or this big one like this, right? You discover you have something you call plant layouts, right?
PFD, process flow diagram.
So everything falls under production management. So this has to do with what? Optimized arrangement. In separation units, the layout is very important in separation units. And the layout actually, to a larger extent, determine how frequent accidents you will have accidents. How frequent you will have report on accident in your production unit. Take for instance, you have. Take for instance, you have. Okay, see this. There is a reason why they put this one here and not here. You understand? But imagine if the layout is not that good. Someone is just coming out and wants maybe just coming out for a shift. Just open like it. And bump on one of the production units. What happened? There will be an issue. So that's the reason why production layout is very, very important. How you lay out how each of your equipment is arranged. And do you know this is not chemical engineering now, right? And this is the understanding you need to have now, especially in production management. So, layout. So in separation unit, the layout is strategically designed to facilitate smooth flow of material and allow easy access to maintenance. Now I want to ask you, in production units, why is it that the storage units is always outside the company and not inside? Did you notice that? When you enter a particular company, the first thing you will see is a warehouse. Do you notice that?
Yes.
Why is it that it is not at the back? That's the work of layouts. Okay, let me explain to you what layout means again. If you are using Uber, and maybe you are trying to clean using water or detergent and the rest of that, you will discover that if you want to clean this place, if you start from here, I say about to and do like this, if you are coming back, if you are not careful, all the places that are already clean is dirty again because there is not proper layer. But a wise cleaner will start from here, right? Until get to Mugundo and finish everything, right? Is that clear? That's one example of layout. Because now, how things is being arranged is very important. You see that? Why is it that we have this? We have these places, what's the name? This space. These are layouts. So the same thing applicable in separation units. So the plant layout is very, very important. And the reason for it most of the time is because of safety compliance. So the layout also supports safety and regulatory compliance by organizing equipment and workstation to minimize risk, especially in unit handling hazardous materials. Most times, unit handling hazardous material, they are always located at the back of the company, right? Not at the front. Most times, if they are not conspicuous, you can easily see them, right? That is what layout can do. So in planning any industrial establishment, because now, tomorrow, maybe you are a production manager, the first thing to check is the layout of your company. Of your production units. Because that will determine, because the first thing to look into when you discover that you have frequent accidents in your company is the layout. When people are coming, they are carrying something, it's easy for them to fall over. It's easy for maybe big object to fall on their, on their leg. And everything has to do with what? Layout. Very, very important. So, the next principle is the quality control. So, ensuring consistency and compliance. So, quality control and separation unit ensure that the output consistently meet required purity and standard. And that's that about that. Then we have fixed mechanism, integration and cross-disciplinary coordination, and so on and so forth. So what is the difference between production and productivity? Oh, can someone tell me?
Production is the amount of products that we are producing, and productivity is how efficiently we are producing it.
Okay, amount of product we are producing.
It's a production, like
okay. And productivity is what?
Efficiency.
So production is just a number of goods that is being made. While productivity is the number of goods produced divided by employees. That's productivity. Yeah. So when you want to measure productivity, is the employee. And that is the reason why most times you have a unit, and in that unit you have 10 people. There's something they expect you to produce. But this unit today, we have 50 people. Why is it that you only have 10 pallets? It means your productivity is low. So now it's just the unit produced divided by the input used. That is the number of goods produced divided by employees. Do you know I wrote a paper on this productivity management? Let me show you. As simple as it is, very important. Maybe we can have a project together on this to measure productivity management. Let me give an example. When you have a particular employer, you can actually know the productivity of that employer. Let me give an example. We use something we call tardy time and the rest like that. Let me give an example. Let's say I'm the one serving you, right? You are lying in front of me. You are the first server, Harris. Okay. What's the name? Is it Tanvir? Yeah. You are the first server. From the time, maybe I'm serving you with this. From the time you tell me that, maybe McDonald's, let me just use an example. What do you want, sir? I want two chicken and one whatever. Okay, you started, right? Okay, blah, 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 blah. Okay. I serve you. The time to serve you, the time to serve everyone here, you understand? That time and the number of people I served can be used to measure the productivity. Okay. So if I have a company now that is a service industry, I can actually measure the productivity.
Productivity.
Yeah.
For a person like, for example, like if you are measuring my productivity, so how much work I'm doing per unit time.
Let me give an example. Yeah, how much more you are doing per unit? Let me give an example. Let's say you have a production unit, and every year you always give team of the year. Yeah. The best thing to do to determine that is that the fact that a particular unit they are producing more, that doesn't mean that they are more productive. Maybe there are more people there. So by the time maybe this particular what's the name? This particular production unit, they are the best team of the week, of the year. So you can actually, without any bias, you can actually calculate the production. Let me see if I can see that paper. Because this thing, you can actually use it to do a lot of things. Let me see. It's been long anyway. That was beyond productivity.
तनवीर में बनाया था नहीं कि
5 मिनट बंद कर दिया था मैं 9 बजे तो आया 8:30 वाली बस आया
8-10 वाली भी है
8-10 वाली फुल थी ना
See, this is one of the paper I put. It's not here. Let me see if it is here.
सच है कि ये डर है
तो डरने का हम लोग को कुछ है अब तो कोई पता नहीं कोई पता किसके साथ आया
हम लोग कितना पता है
सो 100 बंदा ਹੁੰਦਾ जितना हो सकता है इतना भी ਹੁੰਦਾ भाई नहीं लगे जाता है
उसको मत बोलेंगे लग जाएगी
Let me see if it's here.
saying something
Just want to show you if we can.
oh nothing
Just
just
this paper.
creating trouble
I think that was. Let me see.
troublemaker
We'll go.
अरे
Can you see this? I think.
nice for
See, that was my first paper then. Before I started writing. So productivity evaluation and improvement of an essential bar manufacturing plant using a time study approach. So time study is a time spent to produce something. So what we are saying is that most of the time, let's say you discover that you get to a company and they sack one of the manager just because he couldn't meet up with the what? With the production, right? Because this is practical. And you are the new manager. This, please listen and listen well. This method will save you your job. And how will it do that? This one now, listen. This one is a production where here they produce what? Essential balm, right? What we want to do, there are two things we want to do. The first thing we want to do is to what? Is to evaluate the productivity. And the second thing is to what? To know how to improve it numerically. So it's not that you just get there and say, oh, you, move Taiba, leave that unit, go to that unit. Marina, leave Magundo. Not like that. You make your decision based on the productivity measurement you have. And your unit will even understand it. Okay, since the time I came here, for the past 1 year, 1 month, I was able to measure your productivity based on these metrics. I discovered that your productivity is 90%. Your productivity is 70%, and they will ask you, how did you do that? Then you explain to them. By the time you start calculation, you say, this one is something else. And I'm not here to do anything, it's just to improve this process. So this one will save you. And that is what we call time study approach. So if you have time, I can show you how to do that. You can use it in industry too. You can use time study approach in industry to measure the productivity of where you are working and to provide solution to that, what's the name? And to provide solution to that problem. You will discover this is the reason why when you go to work at times and you have a shift, you sleep and they fire you. We call it tardiness. That time you tell your supervisor, I'm coming. I want to ease myself. You are dragging the production. So those people that fire you, they are not bad people. No. They're not bad people.
Just careless.
They're not bad people.
They're lazy.
Because the act of someone, one single person, can actually affect the whole production. So that is what I did here in this, what's the name? So at the end of the day, I don't know if it's not clear enough. See, at the end of the day, I was able to have the percentage difference between each different unit. So we measure the productivity per day. And we measure the productivity for 30 days. Because today something can happen, tomorrow another thing can happen, and we got the average productivity of the whole company. At the end of the day, we discover that the average productivity is around 62.7, which is low. Now, it now comes to how do we improve that? Don't worry, when we have time, I will dig deep into this. So those are the things you can actually use. No, this is not chemical engineering now. That is where production management comes in. Exactly. So let's move forward. So, because some of you are looking at me, what is this guy doing?
Forward.
So this is just the, and if you are as a chemical engineer, you are able to combine production management principle in your head with chemical engineering, then you are a good fit in any industry. Because when they come, let me give an example. When they come, I can ask you a question. Okay, in our company here, there's a problem. We discovered that our production process, our production efficiency has reduced drastically. How can you help us? You can use this principle. They don't know it. Okay, we can actually use the time study approach to actually evaluate the productivity of this company and also to provide solution to it or improvement. And they will tell you how. So I will send this paper maybe to your group so you can read it and for your own personal whatever. Because these are the things they are looking for in most industry. They are looking for people who add value to their work, to their job. And that's the most important thing. Not because you want money. No. You are there because you want to add value. Right? So that's about that. So I don't want to talk much on this. I think I have 3 or 4 papers on this. This is not chemical engineering, this is more production management principle. So let's see.